Thank you. I want to begin by thanking you, Chairman McCall and Ranking Member Meeks, for giving us the opportunity to explore this important issue. And I really want to thank the four witnesses, both for their service to our nation, but also for helping to inform today's discussion and for being with us. From the genocide against the Uyghur population in Xinjiang to the 2021 crackdown on democracy and the rule of law in Hong Kong, we've seen a glimpse at the values of the People's Republic of China is trying to impress upon the world: a rejection of human rights, a commitment to authoritarianism, a silenced press, and the abandonment of the rule of law. Those values are antithetical to our own and must be confronted globally by American leadership, diplomacy, and investment. And in taking up this important work in today's hearing and those in the future who are working on these issues, it's my hope that we can do so in a way that doesn't promote or advance xenophobic anti-China rhetoric, which we've seen lead to an alarming increase in hate crimes against Asian Americans across the country. We simply cannot allow this committee or others to give that rhetoric any oxygen because the consequences are too dangerous and too serious. I want to begin with you, Mr. Schiffer. The PRC's repression of Uyghurs and other ethnic minorities is global in nature, and we've seen the PRC pressure governments in the Middle East and in South and Central Asia to cooperate with or overlook its campaign to intimidate, harass, detain, and deport Uyghur refugees and the diaspora members around the world. And there was a recent Wilson Center report that documented over 5,000 cases of Uyghurs facing intimidation and worse. So I'd like you to speak to what USAID and the State Department are doing to urge nations to prevent the harassment and detention and deportation of Uyghurs and other ethnic minorities on their soil in the face of this kind of tremendous PRC pressure and really demands that they're making, and what role we can play in Congress in supporting the work that you are doing.
Thank you very much for that question. We have at USAID, working with our colleagues at the Department of State, just launched a new international religious freedom and human rights assistance activity to work with members of the Uyghur community outside of the PRC and to try to provide them with the support that they need navigating this very, very oppressive environment that the People's Republic of China is trying to create for them, both inside the PRC, but also, as you so rightly pointed out, all around the world. We regularly engage with our partners and allies in conversations about what their governments can do as well, as we look to align, as Secretary Kritenbrink offered, to make sure that the international community is fully engaged on this issue, to speak out on the PRC's genocidal actions in Xinjiang and to support Uyghur community wherever they may be.
And is there anything we should be doing additionally to support that work?
Well, I certainly think the congressional leadership over the past several years, including the legislation that the House has moved forward, has been an important part of creating the momentum that we need to be able to continue to press back against the PRC. So I would certainly look forward to working with you and your colleagues to continue to raise voices on this issue.
Thank you.
Congressman, would it be okay if I address that question as well? I did just want to underscore that in response to the genocidal actions in Xinjiang, the United States has designated 12 persons under global Magnitsky sanctions. We've imposed visa restrictions on another 7. We've coordinated with the EU, UK, and Canada on the imposition of sanctions as well. That would be the first point, Congressman. The second point, anytime we learn of Uyghurs who have been detained or harassed abroad and are threatened with forceful involuntary return to China, we've engaged with those governments to try to stop that action. We will continue to do so. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Nathan, just quickly, I know there's a lot of evidence that the Belt and Road Initiative is sort of running out of steam and financing for projects is becoming more difficult. Many countries are now struggling to repay loans. Would you just speak to what the Development Finance Corporation is doing to finance projects that are in this position so that countries have an understanding that there are other options out there to deal with their needs?
Thank you for the question. For sure, when I travel and meet with leaders in the developing world, they're actively looking for an alternative, and we need to be there to present it. whether that's in the Indo-Pacific, Africa, Latin America. Countries are actively seeking alternatives that are high standard, that reflect values of the private sector, and don't burden them with debt. I think they've found out that often projects that are funded by the Belt and Road Initiative or by the PRC state-controlled entities turn out to be inappropriate for their local conditions and frequently not of high quality and leave them with burdensome debt loads.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Chair recognizes